Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I thank you today for tuning in to Step Into Your Sunshine, hosted by me, your host, Rachel Kudran. I am the owner of Kudran's Curiosities Etsy Boutique and the owner of RC Copywriting. Today, I come to speak to you about following your intuition and dreams when you are young. Those little children in our life, making them blossom into the lives that they truly want to live. Now, this is near and dear to my heart as I have a little girl who will be 4 next month. And I know that so many of my listeners here today have children of their own. And we're going to talk about how do we nurture our child, their dreams, their desires into fruition. For me, as a child, I had an unprecedented dream. I knew that I wanted to live abroad. I knew that I wanted to not live in Oklahoma. I knew that the people that I was being raised with were not going to be the people that I was going to be surrounded with as I became an adult. Now, this is a difficult knowledge to deal with because you know in your heart and your soul that this is what I want. I want to live abroad. I want to be among people that are not American. Yet you're sitting in an environment, and for me in Oklahoma, a quite conservative state and upbringing, and everybody around me was telling me, I don't think this is for you. So let's roll back to how did this dream get started? When I was between 10 and 12, for one summer, my mom and my aunt hosted 4 Finland students, which would have been about high school age level at the time. I was about 5 to 7 years younger than them. And they were fascinating. I was hung up on every one of their words, every one of their experiences. I was just so incredulously aware of their differences, that they were different than everybody else around me. Their experiences were different than everybody else around me. They noticed American culture. And at the time at 12, I didn't even know what that meant. What did it mean to have an American culture or upbringing? And they were with us for a summer. And just as you go throughout life and you're experiencing different things, they would notice the differences or the similarities and they would point them out. They would be astounded by certain things at the supermarket or the sizes of things or the way that people acted or interacted with each other, the state in itself, the way we would take them to the lake, the activities and sports that we would do at the lake. They were just living so authentically during that summer. And I was drawn to that energy, drawn to that kind of wild experience. And I just couldn't take my mind off of it. So at the mere age of 12, I had decided that I wanted to live abroad. And throughout high school, I wanted to study abroad. I so desperately wanted to have a similar experience, but I was told no, I wasn't old enough, I wasn't able yet, and that slowly started to crush my dreams because that was what I had wanted. It's what I had fixated on for years and years, and then to be told, no, this isn't an option for you. I was shattered. And as I went through my high school upbringing, I heard this storyline told to me again and again. We don't do that here. You're not old enough. You're not experienced enough. What makes you think that you could handle being abroad on your own? This isn't what young girls do. It's not safe. I had friends at my school and other classmates that would tell me that, this is just a far off dream, Rachel. This isn't a reality, and it's never going to become a reality. And slowly, my dreams started to unravel. Yet at the same time, I believe knowingly and unknowingly, my parents continued to help and foster this dream. My parents took me and my family on many vacations, especially to the Caribbean area, and we were oftentimes met with people that weren't American, people that lived in different cultures, different ways of life, spoke different languages, and all this did was increase my desire to live outside of Oklahoma and ultimately outside of the US. And I know that they wanted to expose me and my siblings to other cultures and other ways of life. Yet at the same time, I don't think they understood that they were creating this foundation for me to eventually step into my dreams of living abroad, of experiencing that same vivacious life that those 4 Finland students did when they came over the summer. And in college or university, I finally had the chance. I was finally old enough to walk into the direction of the dreams that I had been cultivating for years. And I couldn't be told no anymore. It's that 18-year-old wanting to branch out on my own, do my own things, be the adult, live my own life kind of mentality. And sometimes that is what is needed to break away, to fly on your own wings. And so, year 2, at the beginning of year 2, I met who would become my husband, Thomas Gudran. And before I tell you that story, I want to tell you what happened just before then. I was involved with the European Student Association. Year 1, I met one of my very good friends, Sandra, and I met her in the bathroom. It's a crazy, wild story. And we became the best of friends while she was there, and she was Dutch, and I loved everything about her. And she was just so interesting, such an authentic person, living her best life. And again, that desire to go and travel abroad, live abroad, especially in Europeans. And it was like magnetically attracted to her and European lifestyle. And that summer, for the very first time, I got to go and visit Europe. And I was just head over heels for the culture, the lifestyle, the way of life, the way of the people, the fashion, everything about it just captured me. And when I went back for year 2, I was in the European Student Association, and I saw so many couples that were, one person would be American and one person would be foreign or international. And I thought to myself, that's never going to be me. Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in such a vulnerable state that you would get in a relationship, start a relationship, maintain a relationship with someone that you knew lived thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away? Well, the energy in the universe decided that something else was going to be my plan, and that she knew the desires I had from when I was young to live abroad and embrace this lifestyle. And so she put Thomas into my life. And Thomas was born and raised in France. I was born and raised in Oklahoma. and the stars would align and we would get together. And I remember telling my mom just beforehand that I'm never going to date anybody foreign. Why would you do that? Why would you put yourself there? And yet here I was dating this foreign boy, and I was head over heels. I was unbelievably excited. And I had finally found a person that was European, and they were dating me. And I just, at the beginning, it was like that. It was like a new treat and a new excitement and sort of a fulfillment of my dreams. You know, as the time went on, it most definitely grew from there and grew into a very nurturing, healthy relationship that I have today. And I couldn't believe it. Mother Nature, the energy in the world, my intuition was always playing in the universe and telling me what steps I needed to take, what direction I needed to go, and that it finally came to fruition. And in December of 2018, which would be 16 years after I first had that thought to move out of Oklahoma, it came to fruition. I moved to France, and it was like 16 years of energy work and dreams came to fruition in that moment. It was amazing. And I was finally able to be the person that I wanted to be for 16 years. But I want to reel back to that story because it's a lovely full circle story. Yet in high school, I became so far removed from my dreams. Why is that? For those of us that are listening today, have you become so far removed from your dreams? Have you forgotten the dreams of your childhood? Have you forgotten the dreams before you were a mother or a father? Have you forgotten what it was like to dream and have aspirations for yourself because all of your attention is focused on your children? Share them with us. Share them with the members of this community, and let's see, what are your aspirations? Were you able to come full circle like mine? Did it take you 16 years? Are you still wishing and waiting and working towards those dreams of your childhood? Did they come much faster than mine? I want to hear about them. And if your road was like mine and you found yourself far removed from your dreams, your aspirations, your intuition, what did you do? How did you come back to yourself? And I want to take a moment to talk about this because when we're growing up, we're told we could be rock stars, we could be rocket scientists, we could be engineers, we could be the president, the prime minister. Our dreams are only limited by our imagination. Yet as we step up the ladder of life and put more years on, our dreams and our aspirations are limited by our mindset, by our society, by our parents, by our friends, by what we believe that we are capable of. It's no longer up to our imagination to determine the direction of our life. It becomes up to the environment that you're placed in and the people that are pouring life into you. And we have to flip the script. We have to be more empowering to our children to follow their intuition. When something says that this is the direction they're supposed to go in life and they know it in their soul, we as adults and parents and teachers and friends, we need to listen to them. They're trying to be expressive. They're trying to show you the path that they want to follow. And if it's squelched, then a part of their dreams are lost and their direction is lost. And you look at an adult who finds themselves in a situation where they are working a job that they hate, in a marriage that they don't feel supported, raising children that they don't feel connected to. And it's all because they were never allowed or encouraged or given the platform to expand on their dreams. And this is heartbreaking. And it happens every day around the world that children's dreams are squished. Their desires are burnt out of them because it's not the direction they're supposed to go according to society, or according to their parents, or according to their friends, or according to the culture in which they grew up in. And I want us to spend time uplifting our children, encouraging them to listen to their intuition, to get inside themselves. And when they have that feeling that tells them that this is the path, or this doesn't feel right, that we listen and that they're encouraged to express those feelings. The more we come back to ourselves, the more that we look inside and listen to what our body and intuition is telling us, the more that we're going to be able to expand and become successful and prosperous and confident. This entire podcast is about stepping into your sunshine, stepping into the person that you were always meant to become. And for this story, for me, it was a 16-year work in progress, stepping into the person that I was meant to become. And when I tell you that I left the US, I was beyond excited. Yet when I stepped here, my entire life changed instantaneously. The person that lived in the US prior to 2018, December of 2018, is not the same person that is speaking to you today. There's been so many more life experiences and so many hardships that I've gone through to get to here today. And I want to share those with you in the next podcast. How am I continuing to step into my sunshine, continuing to step towards the most authentic version of myself? And I want to know, listeners, how are you stepping towards your authentic selves? How are you banishing all of the shadows to the side and stepping into your sunshine and letting that light be seen by the world? Tell me. I can't wait to speak to you next time. I hope you all have a good night.